Hello, all you uglies, uglies, uglies. I am your host, well, one of them, Trinity the Tuck, for I Live for This review of Drag
Review.
Review,
Review.
Review. And I have my co host, also the host, right here with me, and her name is.
Shontelle. Sparkles.
Ooh, that was good. That was kind of frightful.
I've been practicing in bed.
It was like Shontelle was like the dessert going in your mouth, and then the sparkles was like the gas that it gives you at the
It's
end.
very much like House Bunny. You know, when she introduces the names and she's
Oh
like,
my gosh.
Trinity.
That would be such a good character for somebody to do for like Snatch Game. I mean, you'd have to put it,
Yes.
what is her name? Something
I think
Ferret?
it's Anna Faris or something, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Love
yeah.
her. She's so fierce.
Yeah, she hasn't done anything in a while, but we love her. Anyway, I'm excited about this episode. We have a very special guest today. Before we get into it, I want to remind everybody, just like we always do, go check out
Serve
her
vodka.
vodka girl. She's
Girl,
been,
she is sponsored, but she can't even remember her
girl. I
sponsors.
had a
God dang
cup.
it.
This is my third glass of wine today, girl. I've had a week. So, yeah. So serve vodka. Go to
She ain't
servevodka.com.
even drinking her flavor though.
No, I can't mix vodka and wine makes me
Mm.
sleepy. So after this, because I haven't been sleeping that well lately, and we'll get into that too later.
She needs a
Um,
gummy.
yeah, so I need like a downer. Vodka makes me want to party.
Yeah.
Anyway, shop serve vodka, and and then also you want to tell about our merch package?
Yeah, so make sure you guys are liking, comment, subscribing to the YouTube channel, and commenting on all the videos because at the end of this series, we're going to be giving a like a huge merch package away to the person. It's going to be random, so make sure you're doing that. And this is not just a normal package, sweetie. This is a fierce package. It's going to have lots of goodies. We'll put that in the video for you guys to see it. But make sure you're supporting us and commenting and you know
Subscribing,
yeah.
liking, and commenting. It's free for you. It costs
Yeah.
us an arm and a leg to do this for free for you.
Right.
But let's go ahead and welcome our special guest, all the way from this season. I'm super excited to
Yes.
have her, and her name is.
Vivvi the Force.
Hi.
Hi, hello. Thank you for having me.
Of
Thanks for
course.
being here. What does your shirt say?
It says "Be crime, do drag."
Yes. Is that your own special merch?
Yeah, this is my own merch. We designed it last year. A local artist named Chad Burwald helped me design it. Kind of had the idea of making some sort of political message
I love it.
in the era of all the political discourse we're having right now around drag and acceptance of trans people. At the time, I was living in Oklahoma City, so it just felt
Ooh,
fitting.
I'm so sorry. Ooh.
Yeah.
But yeah, these are
But
my
are
hats.
are they
Yeah.
for sale? Like you can buy the t-shirts still now?
Yeah, there's a link on my bio that goes to my merch page, and so it's all available. We were doing a fundraiser in Oklahoma, and we donated the money for the shirts that we sold. But now I just have them on my store.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
Yeah.
You're so attractive out of drag. Like, look
She's
at
Thank
you.
you.
look
Oh,
at her hitting on him.
The
look, just
true
glowing in the
transparency.
sunlight. I didn't know that Dragula girls could be in the sunlight. I thought you
Oh,
burst into flames.
yes, I'm out here collecting my vitamin D. Yes, I love it.
Well, Trinity has
Word.
plenty of vitamin D to give you.
Oh wow. I did not that consent,
Um,
consent. Oh, I did not say that. Well, we're excited to have you. I posted for fan questions today, and we got several really good ones. We haven't done that with a guest yet, and so I'm excited to ask you these questions that these fans are coming. I'm sure Chantel has her own shady questions she always wants to know.
She calls me the Barbara Walters of the interview.
Oh yes,
okay,
girl.
yes.
She's so serious when she's asking about shade. She's like, "So tell us,
I need to
did you
know.
get fisted?"
Did they spit on your fist first, or did they
Right.
just shove it into your ass?
Yeah, she's so serious. But I'm gonna ask a few questions and then let Chantel get into it. We want to get to know you. We want the fans to get to know you. First question from fans is: did the lip sync literally happened right after the critique this last episode between you and Auntie.
Yes, it's sudden death. It's on the spot. Kind of had an idea what was gonna happen, just because when you're on set, you're paying attention to everything going on. So kind of knew what I was in for. But that moment, they just start the music, and you have to.
Is it just
all.
like a random song, or do they give you the song ahead of time?
So I think that we're given like songs that we should know, and we don't know when those might come up. So one of those would be like Ghost Train, another one being the Waiting song, and the other songs that they had us do.
Yeah, that's how they do it on Drag Race, where they just give you a bunch of songs. They're like, you have to learn these, and so you don't know when they're gonna pop up, and so that's kind of the same thing that Drag Race does. What I find interesting is they did it like, have they done, I can't remember off the top of my head. I've watched every season of Dragula, but I can't remember. Have they done an extermination like this before?
They have. It was between Jarvis Hammer and JK on season 5, and then JK won the lip sync. Yeah, I love the song. I love Dolly, and I like that song "Waiting." And there's those like screaming moments in the song. I was like, this is definitely me and the type of stuff I perform. So I'm surprised I didn't win the lip sync.
I absolutely love Dolly as well. I actually almost had Dolly feature on one of my songs from my last album, but we just couldn't get it together because Dolly was so busy, and then it just didn't work out. But hopefully in the future. But it was a great lip sync. I because of the way that it was edited, you could tell that they were gonna keep Auntie. But I thought you both did great with the lip sync. But one more question, and then I'm gonna let Shontelle take over with a couple of her questions. With the challenge between you and with this last week, do you think that your mess up, quote unquote mess up, this is fan questions, caused Auntie to mess up, or did she just blame you and she just didn't know the words?
I feel like she just kind of blamed me and didn't really know the words. Or I think that she got a little stage fright in the moment with the pressure being on. We only get one take to get it right. And I'll tell you, like, we all knew Auntie's words to that song by that point, because she was singing it all day long, like 100 times a day, just on repeat. She was practicing her words. So I was really surprised, because we all knew her words by that point. And I was worried that I was going to forget my words, because I knew her words from listening to her repeat it over and over. So I was kind of surprised in that moment that happened. But kind of happens to everybody and stuff. And I don't think that it was my slip up that caused her to mess up. But I'll take the blame, whatever.
Yeah. Shontelle, you asked some questions.
Well, in my Barbara Walters voice, no, who is one of the people on the show that you connected with the most?
I would say Scylla was the person I connected with the most. We were housemates and everything. We started our day together with coffee, had like time to chit chat and everything. I was also really close with Pie and Gray as well. I kind of got along with everybody on the cast. As you can see in the show, I don't really have drama with anybody or any beef or anything. I was really just there to like showcase my art and just avoid getting cursed by anybody. So didn't want to like ruffle anybody's feathers or anything like that. And I would say that I have a good connection with everybody, but Scylla was definitely one of my rocks.
Now, to follow up with that, you said that you're housemates.
I was just about to ask that. I know
like, what you're on the show, you were housemates. What does that mean? Because in my experience with doing the other show, they put you in separate. You are not allowed to be near each other unless the cameras are on.
Well, we all live in the mansion. So we all live in the Boulet mansion.
Oh, wow.
That's so cool.
Yeah, but
I'm shocked that they don't film that. Like, you guys
that would be some
interact
good
with each other.
It would be so good, right? Like that's where like all the tea like really happens.
Like they could be like the haunted mansion or something.
Now we need to know, like, what is there something that happened like that would be worth talking about in the mansion that they obviously they didn't air because
Right.
it's not part of the show.
Well, obviously, and the Boulets talk about it on their podcast, Creatures of the Night. You know, there's obviously something that happened between Desiree and Majesty, you know, that made the trailer but didn't make the final cut of that episode. So definitely there is a lot that uh, can happen or whatever, but they do keep us all pretty separated. We're not allowed to talk to each other. We do have moments in the mansion where we do kind of like cross each other's paths and stuff. So I was able to kind of like, you know, share some tea with Scylla and stuff like that in the mornings. But other than that, they do keep us pretty separated and everything.
Fierce. That's so interesting that it's
Right.
so different than Drag Race. I
It could
compare
be
the-
almost like their backstage-esque filming.
Oh my
You know what I
God,
mean?
it would
Almost
be-
like the mansion or something, the haunted
would be
mansion.
exactly just yeah,
Bad
the
Girls
haunted
Club
mansion.
meets Dragula for sure.
And the drama could be like the haunted mansion.
They
Yes.
should totally get a deal with Shudder to do like an after hours of just like footage of
That
like
would be so
basically the
cool.
real world. Like because Drag Race doesn't do that. And so they could capitalize on that and it would be so good.
It would be so
Mhm.
good.
And
Maybe
it'd
all
be
the
different.
eliminated monsters are all like now sharing the house together or something.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
eliminated monsters have to stay.
Like they're
That would be
haunting the
so
mansion.
weird.
They're haunting the mansion, they're ghosts, they're bitter. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be so
Yeah.
cool.
I also think something like that would be cool because you guys would be able to look at it as not just a competition. Like, okay, even if we get eliminated, we're still filming a TV show. And so
Right.
we still
And
have the
everybody gets a chance to
opportunity.
shine still.
Yeah, we still get we still get paid, we still get a moment, we still get, you know, to have storyline and be seen. That would be so interesting.
Yeah, I would love if, you know, after you get eliminated, you still get the opportunity to maybe compete in the next challenge and earn your chance to come back or something like that.
Ooh.
That could be a lot
Yeah.
of fun.
Like a resurrection spell or something.
Yeah, like cast that spell. I do like how they left it on a cliffhanger, and I kind of wish that like all the Dragula episodes were like that, where you know they film the extermination, but you don't know who goes home until the beginning of the next episode.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that would just be awesome. I was really lucky to have that week of suspension with like the with the fans and everything. So,
Yeah, because everybody was like, oh my God, what's happening?
yeah,
I
everything-
find I like Dragula's setup of that it's always different. So that way, as a fan, like you're watching it, like me, obviously I have nothing to do with Dragula, so I'm just a fan. And it's refreshing to be able to watch it and not know what to expect. So one week you immediately you see who goes home. The next week you're left on a cliffhanger. The next week 3 people aren't showing up, so you don't know who got eliminated, and Majesty's missing too. So you're like, what the fuck is happening?
Right.
So
Right.
like I love the fact that there's all like every week it's something different. And I also like that there's always a different twist and it's not ever the same kind of thing. And that's what makes Dragula so refreshing to watch.
the first episode, it's like Gray and Vivvi, you're safe, but you're not safe.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you never know what's gonna happen at Dragula.
Yeah. Chantel, ask another question, then I have a couple more things.
What is one extermination challenge that you were like, oh, bitch, I can't do this? Like, if you were had to be a, you know, because you get all these like different exterminations that you're like picturing is going to happen if you're in the bottom. What is one that you would have been like, I can't do this?
I don't know. I don't want to go skydiving. I just don't. I don't even like flying or anything like that. So I try to like hold like a really like tough, hard exterior so that you know they don't like put me up for those challenges and stuff.
Are you afraid of heights like in general?
I guess so. I've always said that I wasn't really afraid of heights or whatever, but being in a plane, I think, is what I think I'm a little bit of a control freak. I think I like to be in control of what's going on. And when I'm in a plane, it's like I'm no, you know, if you're in a car,
If something happens, it's done. You're like,
you're done. You're just like, okay, I'm done. You know, if I'm in a car, I can like jump out of the car and tuck and roll and something, you know, something like that. But a plane, you really, your hands are in somebody else's hands, and that's really hard for me.
I'm terrified of heights, so I totally get it. Like Trinity and I just went on this trip to where did we go again? Was it like Gatlinburg?
It was called Gatlinburg, in Tennessee.
And we had to walk this bridge, and it was one of those bridges that have the glass bottom, so you could see the bottom. I couldn't do it. Like she had to force me to do it because I was so scared. So I totally get it.
On top of her being afraid of heights, she was also on an edible.
Oh, that'll do it. That'll do
Yeah,
it for you.
and I kept like shaking her, and she was just like terrified, going like
She's
inch
so
by
extra.
inch.
It's just the THC, girl. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, she was like literally about to die. It was like an extermination challenge right then.
Yeah.
Set it right now. Yeah, I've been
Yeah.
bungee jumping before. In season 5, they had a bungee jump off the bridge to nowhere. I
Mhm.
actually did that when I was like 18 or 17 years old. I jumped off the bridge 4 times. So certain moments, I guess, I can have a fear of heights, but other moments, it doesn't really bother me. So
Yeah.
Here.
Interesting.
Well, some more fan questions we have is there a special reason why you have a double V in the middle of your name?
yeah, so when I was choosing my name, my original drag name was Mazo Kiss, and then
Ooh.
yeah, and then I wanted something that was like easier to spell or tell people for like Instagram purposes. So I chose Vivvi, but then I put the extra V in there. So I don't know if I did myself any justice. But growing up, I was in a punk band called Permanent Scum, and I sang, and my name was Kyle Voltage. So everyone on the street kind of knows me as Kyle Voltage from like my teenage life. And so I chose a V for that. I really am into the movie V for Vendetta and kind of like the whole message behind that movie. So I had a V for that one, and the other V is for Vivvi. So it's Vivvi, V for Vendetta, and then Voltage is what all the V's are for.
Mm.
I love that. I love that. A reason for the name. You get some queens that just come up with a name, and it's just so boring, like Sparkles.
I honestly thought your name Vivi, it reminded me of this character from Final Fantasy IX, the
Mhm.
mage, his name Vivi. So I was like, oh, maybe she's obsessed with Final Fantasy.
Yeah. And FORCE is an acronym. It stands for Fuck Order Resume Chaos Everywhere. And that sort of has been like my brand ever since I became Vivi the Force.
I
Well, you,
live.
what's so interesting is out of drag, you're not really that. Like you're very, you seem very chill.
I am. I think that when I was first starting to do drag, I was really like all over the place. Similar to Desiree, just I was
Oh,
a
she is
monster.
all over the place. Oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
I think that's what the Boulets were expecting of me when I came onto the show. But they booked me, 10 years later, and I think I've matured a lot more since then. And I really just want to showcase my art and showcase my message and everything and share that with the world. So getting into like little drama, stuff like that, kind of learned like I don't always have to share my opinions about things, but now that I've been into the reality TV world. I have some homework to do, and
Yeah.
I'm ready to go back and do that again. So
How old are you?
I'm 35.
Okay, yes. Oh, yeah. You definitely at an age where like the
The
crazy.
drama is trivial.
Yeah, that's old school. Me and Shontelle are both beyond that. I'm a little more beyond that, but some parts of me. So the next fan question is how much and you can, obviously we don't want to get you in trouble or anything. How much do you think from your experience did production meddle in how storylines came across or how things happened on the show?
That one's hard to say. It's a reality TV show at the end of the day, and I think that some of the performers were prepared for that mentally going into it, and I think that you can see that they performed better on that side of things. Yeah, it was a whole learning curve for me. So you can kind of see like when I got in there, I was kind of like just trying to take it all in, figure it out. And then as the episodes go on, I kind of blend in a little bit more. I kind of get a little bit more comfortable and start to speak out a little more and stuff. But yeah, I was very surprised by how much of a reality TV show it is, and that really was a shock to me.
Yeah, I think every in my experiences from Drag Race, yours is from Dragula, but honestly, they're probably very similar. Um, the one thing I tell people all the time, I know some people that are, I can't say that. I know that
Speaking of drama.
a lot of people who that's their first time doing a reality competition say the same thing, that they think it's more like a pageant or they think it's more like a true competition, when in reality it's a TV show and you're really a character. You're really playing a character, you're really acting. Is there competition? Is there like, are you in a challenge? Yes, of course, but really it's your main thing. I encourage anybody that gets on any type of competition reality show, make good TV. That's really, it doesn't matter how you place. It doesn't matter what you do, as far as like,
Doesn't matter what you're wearing.
yes, you make good TV. Like, for instance, Miss Dick, what's her name? Desiree. She like she will be one of the most memorable contestants just because she's so chaotic. And I don't even think she was acting. Like it just seems like that's just how she is. But her as herself, she just was not fake about it. And it came across chaotic. And I don't know if I would want to be around it in person, but on TV, it was gold. It was like, we love to watch the chaos. I mean, throwing chicken. I mean, like,
Yeah. Taking a bite out of the chicken, that was insane. But the thing with Desiree is she knows when to turn it on and she turns it off right away. And that's,
okay, good. That's fierce.
Yeah, in real life, like, she's such a sweetheart. She's funny. She's really chill and relaxed. But I think she did a really good job of turning it on when she needed to. And, you know, that's why she's going to be remembered forever in the Dragula world.
Yeah,
so.
forever. Shontelle, you want to ask some questions?
I guess, what is one goal that you have now that you're off the show? You know, like they always say, when you get a platform, it's really up to you, like what you want to do with it. So like, what is your goal now?
So my goal is, you know, I'm very much like into kind of creating something new in my local community. I do a show called Shapeshift San Diego. It's a queer alternative punk rock drag show. We have like music, art, drag, and I kind of want to just like expand on that more and maybe even go on little tours with my show Shapeshift. I own a store called Whips and Furs Costume Store. We're in the back of it right now.
What is that?
It's a costume store that's open year-round in San Diego. We do disguises, makeup, wigs, accessories, seasonal vintage. We just got done with our big Halloween month, so you know.
So the shelves are empty, honey.
I love that. I've been wanting to do a store like that.
Yeah, the shelves are empty. The bank is full, thank God. And because, you know, Dragula was an investment, the store is always an investment. But my ultimate goal right now is that I want to open up my own nightclub, and I want to offer up my own, like, make my own queer space, be able to make whatever rules I want happen, whatever events that I want to happen, and be able to like create that for the community and everything here.
That's awesome.
It's really great.
We love a queen that has goals and long-term things, you know?
Yeah, I also want to start my own little podcast called This Week in Chaos. And I just want to, like, you know, cover like little chaotic things that are happening around the world and give my take. So I'm kind of working on my podcast chops and everything to get that going. Yeah.
I think you'll be great at that. You have a very calm voice. So if I could give you any advice, this is my third podcast that I've started, would be to pick somebody that's like the antithesis of you, like somebody that's opposite of you, because you would be a good balance. I feel like you're almost like Yoda a little bit. You're very calm. You're like you seem like the voice of reason.
They have the force.
Yeah. I love that. May the Vivvi force be with you, bitch. That would be so fierce. Yes. Okay, so I have a couple more fan questions. Let's see. Out of the challenges that you did on the show, so Shontelle asked you what you wouldn't want to do. What was the most exciting for you?
I loved playing dodgeball. I thought that was a fun day. And then I loved the I loved my pig Uncle Sam. I loved the Holiday of Horrors challenge.
It was so good.
Yeah, that one was a lot of fun. I'm a vegetarian, but if you zoom in, I had like real like andouille sausages inside of my barbecue, and I was really shoving them through the pig mask and everything and eating those. So I broke my vegetarian for that. And it was just so much fun. I think that was one of my favorite challenges. Oh, the ghost train. The ghost train was so fun to be out there on like on location and everything and filming inside the train. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds really cool. That
I
sounds
also
really
enjoyed getting electrocuted, actually. Like, I kind of like it kind of turns me on a little bit. I have a little
Oh.
taser. I've been looking
On
at
a
my
scale
book.
from 1 to 10, how much pain was that, like, legitimately?
I would say it was probably like a 9 or 10
Oh,
to 10.
Oh,
shit.
Yeah, because you're getting shocked on your fingers, but then they were also like tasering us from down
oh
below.
my
Oh,
gosh,
no,
that's
ma'am.
crazy.
I couldn't do that.
That would melt my silicone. I don't think I could do it.
Afterwards, I was like full of adrenaline. I think like Drac asked me a couple of questions, and I reflect on that moment. I think I was just like, just like going crazy in that moment, like full of electricity. But yeah, it kind of turned me on a little bit. I would do that one again.
Oh my goodness. Well, maybe we need to get a taser in here.
Yes, invite me over, Trinity.
Oh my gosh, don't make me because I
Oh
will.
my God. Here we
The
go.
next So the next fan question is and this is kind of this is really shady. Now, again, this is fan questions. You can answer this or you don't have to. But we love realness on the show, but that's up to you. Who is your least favorite cast member?
Well,
I was gonna
answer
ask
her when she
that.
sent me home.
Do y'all
Okay,
talk
is there
still
is
like
there like
after the
a is there a
show?
reason other than the fact that she sent you home? Like, did you get along, or is there like some kind of energy that you didn't like mesh well with?
Well, I'll tell you this secret. I secretly wanted to be the old rat. I wanted that line, but I wanted her to be able to have it because I know that episode, that challenge really meant a lot to her, and she really was like wanting to win that one to get to go with Alaska for off Broadway. So I was just, kind of like not being too picky or outspoken about the role that I got, but as we started to practice, I realized like my character doesn't really have like a character,
Yeah.
it doesn't really have an ability for me to act and stuff, which is what I really wanted to do on Dragula. I wanted to kind of act more, get into character, be a mad scientist or an evil villain or something like that. And the challenges this just didn't match up for that. But I don't really have a beef with Auntie or
Do y'all
anything.
still talk like after the show or?
Yeah, we just had a show in Los Angeles with Scylla and Auntie, and we got to like touch base and catch up
Oh,
and
nice.
everything. I think that a lot of what you see on TV is for TV purposes,
Yeah.
but I think that a lot of the cast members we all get along really well. Stuff. So
Work.
Well, this is a good lesson for anybody listening if you're auditioning for any type of reality competition. Don't be the nice person. Like, don't like fight for the role that you want because it could
Yep.
literally be the end of you. You know what I mean? Like, you have to
mhm.
fight for what you want on the show. You cannot be the nice person. Yes, in the edit that'll be great because like you got a great edit, but do you want to
Win.
well,
Right.
even if you don't win, do you want to go through the rest knowing that you
Coulda,
Just no
woulda,
without
shoulda.
regrets.
without any regrets? Because now
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
like, I shouldn't have given her that. You know what I mean? And I have a couple of those too with Drag Race, like where I'm like, fuck, why was I nice there? Um,
I
not
must
too
have I
many.
must have been sick that day or something.
Yeah, not too many of those moments. Not too
Yeah.
many of those moments. And a lot of that was edited out. I blame the edit.
Right.
Chantel, you go ahead and if you have any more questions, I have a few more fan questions. Actually, I have a
I think I'm done. I mean, that's really all I had.
Okay, let me look. Oh, I only have one more fan question. So the
Perfect.
last fan question is, would you do Titans?
Would I
Hmm.
do Titans? I would absolutely do Titans. I can't wait to have that opportunity again. I mean, my drag is all there. I have, a strong attention to detail. I kind of like know a little insider scoop about how to approach going back. Things I paid attention to before. Now that I see how TV works, I'm not going to kind of focus on those things. I think I would do a better job like creating my package and kind of like representing myself and stuff. So I would
Yeah.
definitely do Titans. I hope that they ask me, and I feel bad for anybody else that's on that season.
Oh, word. Well, if you get on and you need help, Shontelle and her husband make incredible costumes too, because obviously you can't make them all yourself. You have so much to do in such a little time, and I would love to be involved too.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm a fan. I would love to be support. So, well, we appreciate you coming on and chatting with us about your experience, and I know the fans are going to love this.
Yeah.
And we wish you all the luck.
Oh my God, thank you so much, Trinity and Shontelle. I know
Yeah,
it
it was
took
nice
some
to finally
time
meet
for
you.
us to get it going here. We had to change the dates a couple times, but we did it. So thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
Of
you so much.
course.
Chaos will reign.
Yes.
Well, girl, I don't know about you, but Vivvi gives me the fever, honey. She is very pretty.
I can tell you were like all up on that.
She is I don't just she's very pretty, so I'm a big fan. We're gonna move on to the actual episode, and today's episode is the Monochrome Monster Challenge, and they have to make a new classic, is the key word,
Classic
monster, only in black, white, and gray tones, and put their own twist on it. Um, Plus, they have to create a silent film script, basically, so it's going to be subtitles on the screen. Um, and they have to write that all themselves. So it's
Which
a
I didn't really get what that was. Like, can explain that more? Because when I saw it, I was like, this is random.
So like in black and white films, before there was films that could convey like where we talked, where you could hear, there was black and white films, and then on the screen they would have dialogue written because you couldn't hear anything. And I think
Was it just because we didn't have sound back then or something?
right, correct. And I
Oh, that
think
makes sense.
if I'm not mistaken, a lot of silent films back in the day when it was silent films, they had live orchestras or live bands that would play music. Uh,
Okay. See,
for
I had
for
no idea like what that even was.
yeah. So that's what it was.
So you're showing your age, I see.
You fucking bit. Just my kneecaps. So let's see. The fright feat is to do a makeup look with this specific makeup, and again, I think it's only black and
It's
white.
from and it's is it Lon Chaney? I think
Yeah.
that was Lon Chaney was the makeup artist.
And what's
Or the,
interesting is they didn't really give them directions on
they
how,
didn't.
and this is like special effects makeup, so like there's certain like things you have to do to activate the product for it
Yeah, a lot of them were just struggling to get shit to stick, anything.
Yeah. And so the curse, whoever wins, is to blind a fellow contestant while they are getting ready for the floor show, which that seems horrifying because in the past they've done like where one arm is tied behind your back. That's still doable. But
Yeah,
like
for sure.
where your like vision is impaired and say you have like a very extravagant makeup look, that would be pretty hard to do. And
Especially
the
with
way that
those
they're
whiteout
doing it,
contacts.
I was gonna say the way that they're doing it is with those contacts, and I have worn those kind of contacts, and
You can't see shit.
really no, it's really hard to see. So, I don't know how the person.
I'm wondering if it was real though, because like
I think it was. I think it was. I think by talking to these girls, like Vivvi, for instance, like when we were just talking to them about the extermination of like the getting electrocuted, they said the pain was like 9 to 10, and they were getting shocked not only by the fence, but also tasers. Taser,
I couldn't do a taser.
I've
No,
never been
ma'am.
tased, but I've seen people get tased, and it like
Your whole body convulses.
yes, it makes you immobile. Like it makes you where like you're shocked.
Sometimes people pee themselves.
So I think the Boulets are not playing. I think that they're literally doing all of these things to the extreme.
Well, if that's the case, it's really impressive with how Gray handled this episode.
Completely. So We find out, like, so everybody does their makeup, and we find out that Pie wins the challenge.
Which, do you agree on that, or did you thought
I thought there was a couple of people that did really good, but I did think Pie's was good.
who do you think else could have won? I think Asia.
Asia. Yeah, I think
Asia's makeup. The thing about Asia, she has this like specific style of makeup. Like she does this really cool like stroke like makeup. Like everything is done in strokes. Have you ever noticed that?
no.
So if you look at a lot of her stuff, it's always done in lines, but it's like brush strokes, like over and over and over again. So it almost looks like
Okay.
it's blended. So
Yeah.
like when she did that makeup, you could just tell like Asia had did her makeup because it was so on brand for them. And I was like, first off, hers was like the cleanest.
Yeah.
And also I thought it was like the scariest, but I don't know.
Yeah, I thought hers was good. I thought Pie's was really good too. And I can't remember who else was good. There was one more that was pretty good.
Aurora was fucking scary, bitch, in all the
Oh,
wrong ways.
this was not a good episode for
Girl,
her.
she had looked like a clown.
We will get into that. So Pie wins the challenge, and then Pie curses, as you said earlier, Gray, to where Gray has to wear these whiteout contacts where it's very hard to see while they're getting ready. Um, before all of the like episode really gets too far in, Jaharia brings up to Pie that they're not okay with the fact that Pie on the Runway took credit
All the
for
credit.
being the leader of their group. And this is kind of a storyline that goes through pretty much the whole
The
episode.
whole thing. That's why I was telling you earlier. I was like, there's really no other drama besides that.
Yeah, one thing I am finding, and I'm really enjoying the season, but one thing I am finding with this season is I am finding a lot of the drama, and I don't know if this is probably contestants just not knowing how to be natural with this and thinking that they have to be extra, is that a lot of it seems forced and a lot of it seems acting
Yeah.
on the contestants' part. And if this is like a legit storyline, because I could see how somebody would be pissed about that. Like, I take an example of on the runway of RuPaul's Drag Race season 9, when I was the team captain and like Eureka had voiced that she thought that I should be in the bottom. Our reaction to each other in on the stage and then in Untucked was natural. It did not seem forced because it wasn't. It was very natural. I feel like the way that they're
Reacting,
interacting,
it seems very
it just
scripted.
seems kind of scripted. And I don't think that's necessarily the show. I just think that they're just maybe it's just not genuine and they're just like trying to make story.
Yeah.
Contestants. Um,
So Gray wins, or not Gray, Pie wins and curses Gray.
Yeah.
And that was really cool. Whenever they cursed Gray, he like went like this and then his eyes came back up all white. I thought that was really cool and creative.
Yeah, I do appreciate the show putting in the effort to make it interesting with stuff like that, because not only is it a reality show, it also is like their aesthetic is horror. So these little things like this just add to that horror element
Yeah, for sure.
to make it cooler. And I did appreciate that. Because it was obviously a real thing, but the editing
Was like it was just a little bit of an extra touch.
yeah, it was just a little bit of extra touch. So Auntie is trying to recruit Pie as an alliance member to get out Asia, although Pie and Asia already have an alliance. Pie seems like they're contemplating this alliance and acknowledges the fact that even though they didn't necessarily say yes, Auntie kind of like said yes for Pie.
Yeah, they were just like, okay, and then just started making all these plans to get rid of Asia. And Pie's like, no, bitch, that's my main bitch.
Which is shady, which is very shady of Pie to just go along with it. But
Pie's playing the game,
if
calculation.
we're talking about a competition, you got to play the game. And
Yeah.
my first season specifically, I was pretty fair all 3 of my seasons, but my first season specifically, I was like, I'm very fair. I want to be fair. I want to be fair. I want to be fair. Let me tell you what, y'all. If you're watching this, being fair, the nice guy finishes last. Not always, but if you want to win, there's got to be strategy. This is a game. Especially with Dragula, there are things that the Boulets put in there for
They want to see that.
that is a
It's
game.
drama.
They want
It's
to
cutthroat.
see you be strategy. They want to see you be strategic. And you have to make these kind of moves. And that's why like last week was kind of disappointing when they didn't put Gray up for elimination as the group when they could have. You know what I mean? They kind of like pussied out. But that's part of it. It's strategy. And this was an interesting little puzzle piece added to the storyline of like what's happening with these alliances. How would you have handled that if you were Pi? If Andy came to you and you already had an alliance with Asia?
I would have somehow tried to sway them and just be like, listen, Asia's good people. Like we're in an alliance together, and we want you to join our alliance, because then it would be like 3 Titans, you know what I mean, besides Gray. Because let's face it, it top 4, if you think about it, is Pi, Gray, Asia, and Auntie. Period. To me, that's just screaming like the best of the group so far. But I may be wrong, you know what I mean? But
with alliances, it would definitely be.
Exactly. And I think that if they were, if I was doing it, I would have been like, listen, let's get everybody to the top 4. Because listen, if you make it to top 4, you know, you're pretty much golden. You know what I mean? You're set with your career. So I would have been at least trying to get people to do that. I would have never done this whole like, well, let me ask you this. Let me
ask you this.
What?
If like clearly we're watching this as fans. Clearly Asia is the one to beat.
Oh, period.
So you wouldn't want to eliminate the most fierce competition? You wouldn't want that out of the way?
I don't know, because it would really have to depend on my connection with Asia, because like Asia, it just seems like one of them. I know it's a competition, but like for me, I know you say like if you were to go back and you would not be the nice guy, but I just don't think I could do that. I don't think I could be that cutthroat. You know what I mean? Especially if I connected with the person, I would be like,
if I go back, I want to be a villain, bitch. I want day one when I walk through the door.
Well, it's different for you because you're already already established, bitch. You can go back in and be like,
but it would allow people to hate me even more
in a different way, because the thing is, people hate you now, but you also have a really strong base.
Wow.
I mean, girl, you already said it. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying, I'm repeating what you said, bitch.
That's why I drink.
But I think what it is like, it's easier for people that have already been on, especially as much as you have been on TV. You have such a strong fan base that people know you generally in different ways and aspects, because you've done the celebrity thing. You've done, girl, I can't even keep up with how much you've done. You know what I'm saying? So many people have kind of grown with you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like they have a connection with you. So you could go back and you could slit someone's throat and they'd be like, oh, that's so cute. We love her.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Do not compare me to Donald Trump. Okay. And my fan base is definitely not in a cult. Okay.
Well, you are wearing all red, so I'm a little confused.
Wow. That was a MAGA cut. Okay. That was a MAGA cut. I mean, mega cut.
A MAGA cut. But I don't know. Like, to go back to the story, I definitely would be real. I'd be like, listen, bitch, I'm working with Asia as well. So you're either in or you're out.
I would do it. I want to be the last day standing.
But what happens if someone says...
That's a risk you take.
Like, what happens if someone finds out?
That's a risk you take. When you were trying to make moves in games and you're making a big move, it's a risk. You know, when you gamble, you're gambling. You know what I mean? And it either is going to have a big payoff, like getting her out, or, girl, the walls are tumbling down, sweetie. Okay?
And you're going to end up in the grave.
Tiffany takes a tumble. So the Boulets come out and they're in this like trench coat. It's all black, obviously. Trench coat and all you really see is like their throat, which is all painted to look like a skeleton, and then they have this amazing
Just
prosthetic
prosthetic.
skull on. I've seen a lot of masks, and I was looking all around to see if this is an actual mask or if it's prosthetic. If it is a mask, it is a very good one because this is a
It's
really
probably a prosthetic mask instead of a mask.
yeah, so these looks are really cool. I love this, and for me, because this is so original and something totally different for them, I'm gonna say this is a bloodbath.
Oh, I thought it was a bloodbath too. To me, it almost reminded me of something from like Hellraiser or something like that. It was just really
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, very, very, very cool. So the floor show begins, and we're gonna start with Jaharia. And Jaharia, so the premise of this floor show and the look is to create an original classic. So
Also, it needs to be in the grays and the blacks and whites.
right. So original classic. So those two things stuck out to me. And then, like you said, it also has to be black, white, and gray. So Jaharia comes out in this like basically it was a huge bat. They were explaining that it was like a hybrid of I don't get hybrid. It literally looks like a bat costume. Um it also is not black, white, and gray.
It's not. It's like a tannish color,
Her
like
face
beige.
her face is blue. The rest of it is like sepia or like a purpley lavender gray.
Yeah.
Um
But it also could be because of the blue lights. You know what I mean? To me, it looked like it was like beigey, like browns, and then the
yeah.
blue light was hitting it and making it seem like that sepia color.
But also it's not original.
It's not.
It's not
And it,
original.
the way that the costume looked, there were so many elements to this that I felt like just made it look cheap. Like the way that the hair was like around their face,
Yeah.
and then the way that they were painting, the way that they painted also just didn't match the way that the costume looked. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then, like Violet said, with the teeth on the lip, I was like, bitch, if you're gonna do some teeth, you gotta do actual teeth. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It just looks cheap.
And
So,
and
and the
when you're
wings,
comparing this to like other people in the competition, like
look around.
this looks like a Halloween costume.
Yeah, when you're doing this, if I don't know how they were, but if I was getting in this look, I would be looking around and I
Oh
would be
yeah.
like, okay,
Well,
this
girl, you're
clearly needs
fucked.
to be.
It's girl, you're fucked. What do you mean looking around?
Bitch, you know us.
You can
You
look around
know.
and be like, bitch, I'm going home because
I
girl,
would be editing as I'm going on
what are you gonna
stage,
do? What are
bitch.
you gonna do? You can't change the color and you
I
can't
would be
change
taking
the
some black
fabric.
spray paint, bitch, and spray painting that sepia
A whole
color, some
thing, bitch.
black.
Create a whole nother look. Yes, ma'am. Because girl, the way that the wings were, you could tell that there was
They
dowel rods
needed,
in that holding it up.
yeah, and they didn't have
Fabric
any
looked
like
cheap.
boning in the wings either, like Violet said. Like it just
Yeah.
didn't have any, it just like looked like sheets. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It looked like a really good Halloween costume.
Yeah. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to give this a flat line.
100% flatline. And I really like Jaharia, but she seems too sweet. Like I think that was actually a phrase that the judges
Which is weird because in their confessionals, like they're very like reading the girls.
I'm talking about their looks. They're all of
yeah.
all of their looks are very cartoonish, like very childlike.
Yeah.
And I suppose that there is a spot for that in the Dragula
I
realm.
absolutely think there is. I think it's really just how you execute the looks.
Well, I wish she would literally execute this look because
That part.
it is not no. So flatline as well.
Yes.
After Jaharia,
We have
oh, oh,
I thought you were looking at me like, are you gonna talk, bitch? And then I looked to the next person and I'm like, oh,
it pains me, bitch.
I felt like I just looked into Medusa's eyes, bitch, and she had turned me to stone.
I feel like I just ate an X-Lax and I'm about to go to a really hot Tops house, honey. And and you know that grumble that you
You're
get.
about to go to Vivvi's house.
Oh, don't say that. But bitch, Aurora is next, and Oh,
Girl,
God. Hi.
this was Creature from the Black something. Because, like, I
The
don't even.
black buffoon, honey.
Yes, it was
The
buffoonery.
buffoonery of it all, honey. This was not no lagoon. This was it was original. It was original.
You know who it reminded me of in the face now that we're sitting here talking about it?
Bitch, be
It
careful.
reminds
Be
me
careful.
of Asia O'Hara's mermaid look.
Oh my God, it does look like her mask that she wore.
It fucking
And I
does,
hated that
bitch.
look
I
too.
hated that look. I was like, what the fuck?
What I don't like about it is that it's paper mache.
Who did you
It,
think I was gonna say?
I don't know. I was just
You
saying be
said,
careful.
bitch, don't be
Be
careful.
careful. Be careful. What I don't like about it is it doesn't look like some prosthetics look realistic. This literally, there's no movement, there's no expression, there's nothing. It literally looks like she glued on a plastic
It's
mask.
it was definitely giving like old prosthetics from like back in the day where they
I
didn't
wouldn't even
even.
say that. I'll also think like just everything looked cheap from
It
like
did.
the shoes to like why does
I
she
didn't
have
even
this
picture
cheap
them to do
veil?
this.
I
This
don't
is not
know.
their style. I mean,
This is not their style.
I
And
get
like
stepping out of the box and try to show them different, but this is
Aurora
a lot
Aurora
different.
usually has detail. Aurora usually has pretty good execution. I think this is what I think. I think Aurora is kind of an like a alternative queen, like a Dragula style queen. She
Mhm.
does give me that um like Sigourney Beaver a little bit.
Yeah.
I wish she would have leaned way more into her own style instead of
Yeah.
trying to do what she thinks the Boulets want from her. Because when she does lean into herself, like when she won the Ghost Challenge, that was her.
Yeah, for sure.
And this feels like she was trying to be what they wanted her to be.
And what's crazy too is when I was watching the episode, I had to ask Ethan like 5 times. I was like, where's Aurora? Where's
Who
Aurora?
is that? Yeah, who is
Because I was
that?
like, who is that? That's definitely not her.
It was bad.
It looked like nothing she would do.
Bad.
This is a flat line for me.
Completely flat line, bitch. Flat to the line, honey. Up next, we have Yuri, and Yuri is in this like it's
Like a
like a
poisonous
robe or a
flower.
coat, black with like big sleeves, and it's like yeah, like there's like a flower on the face, and in like the little things that come off of her head almost looks like the internal organs of like what a flower is.
Yeah, like almost like needles.
Yes, and there's spikes everywhere. So I think it was Violet who said this, but maybe it wasn't her. One of the judges said that she wasn't scary. This wasn't scary. To me, this was frightening. Like it gives the illusion of like a plastic surgery, like surged monster.
Yeah.
But in like a floral thing. I could almost see this being in the realm of Hellraiser. Like
Hmm.
not and I'm not talking about the spikes on the head. I'm talking about the way that the mug is. It's very frozen. It's very like evil, like there's emptiness in the eyes, which
Yeah.
makes it look spooky. And then the nails, it's almost like beautiful. I almost get Japanese monster from this.
Hmm. Yeah.
Like if this was like instead of this being like whatever this flower is, if this was like a cherry blossom
It
monster.
definitely gives like Asian for
Yeah.
sure.
I
Especially
feel
the
I
way
feel
that
that. I feel that. This to me is Yuri's best runway she's had so far.
oh, absolutely down.
Yeah. I thought she
So,
was
so what do you give it?
fantastic. Oh, I Bloodbath. I
Oh,
love
you
it.
gave it a bloodbath. I gave it
I
a killer. I didn't give it bloodbath just because I felt like there was a couple elements in the bottom of the costume that could have been tied into it. But all in all, I thought it was still a good look.
I love it. I think that like if you were to see this in a movie, the focus is from like the waist up. So
Yeah.
there's not so much going on where you're having to focus everywhere. And
I
in a
want to see Yuri
movie.
do more stuff like this.
Yeah, and if you're watching a horror movie, you're wanting to focus on the victim and then the monster, and like if there's so much going on, you're not gonna be able to do that. And I feel like she was very smart with where she placed the detail, and the whole thing is just absolutely beautiful and also glamorous and terrifying. It does look scary to me.
Yeah.
Uh, After her, we have Asia Consent, and Asia Consent um kind of gave a mixed message. Like, uh,
It was a little hard to understand,
it was a little hard to
but I
understand.
still liked the character.
So tell me about the character.
What do you mean? You want me to tell her the whole backstory? I mean, I don't know what the story of the character is, bitch, but I'm gonna tell you what she looked like.
Yeah, tell me.
She has like these tentacles.
In tentacles? Is that what you said?
Tentacles.
You just
I was
totally made
thinking
up
of
a new word.
antennas because of the last person had those antenna like things.
In tentacles.
She has these tentacle like things around her waist. She's got a corset. She's very like it's giving kind of steampunkish vibes.
Okay.
Very, very unique character. Like this is something that I've never seen before.
Yeah. Original, she got.
Original down. And like the makeup to me also was so glamorous yet horrifying to me. I thought it was cool as fuck. Especially when she walked down the runway and she did that twist and her tentacles went
Yeah.
and like landed. It gave me very much like Ursula vibes.
Yeah.
All in all, I thought this was fierce. It was something different, and I gave this a bloodbath.
So I like elements of this. I like when she spun and the tentacles spun with it.
Yeah.
I do think this is original. I do not get classic at all. Like this looks like a futuristic monster to me. It actually doesn't even necessarily look like a monster. It just looks like an alien from like Star Trek. Like I could totally see this being like in one of the bars. One of the Star Trek characters goes in on one of the planets and has a drink. I don't like the fringe on the headpiece because to me it looks like the headpiece is supposed to be almost like flesh. Like,
yeah.
And so why is there a fringe hanging from your flesh?
Yeah.
Like with no straps or anything like that. I also don't like that I can see the hole cutouts of the eyes and the hole cutout of the mouth. I also don't like the fact that the long fingers are really floppy. It makes it look like a plush doll. So there are elements that I do like, and there are
they
a
could
lot
just be like tentacles to the fingers.
Yeah, but there are a lot of elements I don't like.
I will say that the corset and like there's certain parts of it that I do feel like are over embellished. Like there was a lot of stuff all over it. But
what did you give this?
I gave this a bloodbath still. I thought it was good.
See, this is where we disagree. I'm gonna say a dull knife. It's not a complete flat line, but it is definitely not killer or a bloodbath for me. There's just too many mistakes. I feel like this is something she didn't think about all the way through. The details are not there. Like the fringe hanging from quote unquote skin. The cutouts of the eyes and the mouth look like details that, it looks like she's wearing a mask versus it looking part of her flesh. The floppiness of the fingers and the fact that it's not a classic monster. There's just too many things. Does it look good? Does it look cool? Yes. So that's why I'm giving her a dull knife.
Next up, we have Gray, and they're in this like bat inspired. To me, it gave me vampire and bat, like old school vampire or old school bat. But they were supposed to be some sort of like stone guardian, which I didn't get that. But what do you think of this?
So this is terrifying. This reminds me of like Jeepers Creepers, the way that he flies and stuff.
Yeah.
It's terrifying. And then the hands, the way that Gray constructed this is very smart. So like the bottom is pretty plain, but it elongates Gray, and I think they might be on like either platforms or stilts or something because they're really tall and the arms look really long and the hands look really long. But it took me a second to figure this out, but the wings, that's actually their
Their
hands
hands, yeah. It's one of
holding
the
up the wing.
costumes that they have their hands in that, and then down here it looks like.
Yeah. But looking at it, you can't tell that just by
No, you
looking.
can't. Because I thought
And
their hands were there, like where
right.
they're holding them.
And so it is terrifying. This is terrifying. It's something original. Like I've never seen a monster look exactly like this.
It does give classic too, because the face, I've seen monsters in horror movies that look like this, and it
Yes.
terrified me as a kid.
Like you said, the face gives almost like the Dracula movie from like our childhood, that when he
Yes.
turned into the gore bat, it was like
Yep.
it was like all flesh. It gives me kind of that. Terrifying. To me, this is a bloodbath.
Bloodbath down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next up, we have Auntie Heroine, and they're in this black gown with long pincer, spiky hand pieces. I was gagged when they walked out.
Yeah. Well,
Bitch.
not when they initially came out.
Yeah,
No.
when they first came out, I was like, oh, okay, what is this? And then when they showed the
When they
pictures,
slowly lifted their fucking
it
blade
looked
arm,
like a kill scene in
it
like
was-
Hellraiser or something.
yeah, and with the fabric that draped perfectly, it was phenomenal.
Yeah, it was fucking sickening, and it was so simple, but also like detailed
Beautiful
in all the right ways.
and terrifying. It was
This bitch was crazy.
Yeah, very. It was terrifying. My only negative critique is that I can see the seams on the side of the face covering. And that takes me out. It takes me out of the illusion because everything else is so good. And you can also see where the blade things for the what do you call it?
Pincers?
Yeah, the pincers where they attach. I don't like when you have a look that is so cool and then you can see where things attach when it's supposed to look like your skin. I don't like.
Yeah.
And so those two things take me out.
But where do you see that in the pincers?
It's right where the pincers meet the fabric. It's basically like a glove.
See, to me it looks like they're using the gauntlet part of where the black fabric hangs to hide that.
But they're not hiding it. You can see that there's like a lip where the pincers start.
Yeah, they should have made some sort of like tight Velcro to stay on.
Yeah, or it should have went a little under the sleeve.
Yeah.
But that mixed with the side seams, besides it's really freaking scary and beautiful.
I'll tell you what, people need to start taking some notes on these characters that these Dragula people are creating for horror movies, because I'm so tired of seeing these whack ass
the same
characters or remakes that aren't even good remakes. Like, these are honestly the characters that I've seen on the show, and this goes for a lot of the seasons, I feel like are really, really solid concepts for iconic horror characters that could be carried for many years.
Yeah. For me, because of those themes, I'm gonna say killer. But if it wouldn't have had those, I would have said a bloodbath.
I thought it was a bloodbath, period.
Fierce.
Next up, we have Pi, the calculated one.
She is a calculator, bitch. She is math.
She is. She's giving you
she is an A plus in math, bitch.
9465654321054.
Oh my God. What are you doing?
I don't know. It's calculated, honey.
Girl, is that your impression of a
Well, how else would you fucking do it?
You're like 3333333. Like I thought you were having a stroke. Oh my God.
So, Pi is in this costume that is inspired
Costume. You said costume.
loosely. In this costume. You know I'm so shady, and you can read it, bitch.
You are so shady, y'all. This is what I'm saying. Shontelle is the shady friend. Okay, everybody thinks that I'm such a fucking horrible bitch. No, Shontelle is the fucking shady, horrible bitch.
I'm probably like the dark shady one. Like
This
you're the
is why we're
lighthearted
friends.
shady.
This is why we're friends, because we make fun of everybody and we make fun of each other.
Yeah, and you're very much like this. You're very kind of surface with it. You're like, oh, lighthearted play, bitch. I'm like, let me
You
slither
go
through and
in,
watch them.
bitch. You're like a fucking deep pimple, bitch. You bring it all to the surface.
Oh, a deep ass blackhead, bitch. I live. So Pi is in this costume that is supposed to be a childhood nightmare that you would see underneath your bed.
She should have just stopped at childhood, honey.
Childhood down. And for me, I thought this costume was so basic. And I know like they said that it's kind of basic, but like it was basic in all the wrong ways for me because I
Yeah.
know what Pi is capable of and I've seen the stuff that they do even on the show and on their Instagram. And this to me was very, very basic. Like we're on what episode of Dragula?
Yeah, one of them.
Come on now. Like you
Six.
need to be
This is the
bringing
sixth
it.
episode of 6. So this is 6
And the fact that they didn't even have to do their actual makeup.
Girl,
You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's like you don't do your actual makeup and then you got this
put a
simple
pillow.
costume.
You put a cat pillow on her head.
You know how many of the contestants were probably like over the fact that they're sitting there putting on all these prosthetics and spending hours to get ready. And then you look at Pi over there just like putting a zip-up costume.
A little pillow. Little fucking throw pillow.
A little cat pillow, bitch.
Little cat pillow, a little pussy pillow.
I don't get the white hands. Do you get the white hands?
I love the white hands. So I'm gonna tell you what
do you get it?
No, I don't get
exactly.
I
like
half the time I don't get any of. I don't get a lot of these looks, but I know when something looks cool and when something doesn't look cool. I will say, without the mask, the look is cool. Is it frightening? No.
I really wish that they would have added more of the ostrich feather, like wispies, all down the like from the knee down. It would have looked so cool.
I think that this was not totally 100% regardless with the mask or without. It's just not appropriate for this challenge.
No.
I think that this would have been a cool costume without the head, just in drag as a beauty. Like, me wearing that. I would totally wear that without the mask.
Yeah.
It doesn't give monster, it doesn't give classic, it doesn't give original because it looks, you know what it looks like? There's this I can't remember the name of the show. It starts with a D on Netflix. It's an illustrated show about like this kingdom and there's like this princess who's the main character and her dad is stupid and her mother is like this like almost like a Morticia Adams kind of character. And then her best friend sidekick is like this black cat demon. And it reminds me of that. But it's not like scary. It's not classic. And it looks too amateur to me. I don't like this.
Do you know what it reminded me of?
What?
It reminded me of one of the creatures from the Final Fantasy VIII game. They're called creeps. I had to look it up, but look.
Oh, okay. I see that.
Yeah, because the way that the face is and the hands and stuff, it just gave me very much that, but more whimsical and cartoony.
Yeah, I hated it.
Yeah,
for this, I hated it.
Yeah, now, I thought it was a cool look for something else, but not for
something else. But for this specific, I hated it. Flatline.
Yeah, flatline.
Yep.
So that was all the looks.
That was it, honey. I feel like this episode was pretty much to the extreme. Either they were really good or they were really bad.
Yeah. You're really starting to see who is in the top. And to be honest, this is really starting to become like a perspective of where you kind of know who is the top 4. That's my opinion. I already voiced my top 4. What do you think? Like, who do you think is going to be in the top 4?
My favorite look is Gray's.
Mine too.
I just thought the detail,
It was scary.
the innovation of using your arms to work the wings. It was scary.
The wings moved very realistic because they could use their hands.
It just was terrifying, and it was original. It was everything that I would have wanted from somebody for this specific challenge.
Yeah.
My favorite performance was Auntie, because when Auntie came up with their blades,
it was very thought out.
It was over. Like that right there just won me over immediately. And then I don't know if you caught this, but when they were modeling, they would like shake their little blade, like boo boo boo, like vibrate it. Like
yeah, I didn't see that.
Like how what are those things called that it's based off of?
I don't know, but it gave me Starship Troopers, bitch.
No, that it's a bug. They're called.
That's what there's bugs in Starship Troopers that have those big pincers like that.
I know, but it's called something.
Is it the praying mantis?
Praying mantis.
You are stupid, bitch.
Mantis. I don't like things that say pray in it. So that won me over with the shaking. Like the performance of it all, it was very dramatic. It was very like she had the small little details. So that to me won the performance.
Yeah.
My least favorite look was very close, but I'm gonna say Jaharia just because there was just nothing like that saved it for me. It looked cheap.
That was mine too, just because of what you said. It looked cheap. You know, Pies was clean and there was nothing wrong with it. It just didn't fit the challenge. Jaharia's, it was just messy. It wasn't polished. You could tell that they were gonna be in the bottom.
Yeah, it was not good. And then my least favorite performance was Aurora's. I just thought she gave nothing. It was like a dead fish.
Yeah.
Just like her costume.
We pretty much have the same agreements on those.
Yeah. It was just not good. So my winner overall was Gray.
Yeah, for sure.
And then if I was to pick the two that were going to go into extermination, it would be Aurora and Jaharia.
That's what I had.
Girl, we agreed for some reason this episode.
I mean, like I said, well, the thing is it's getting down to the wire. Like, I know that we still have quite a few episodes, but you can kind of see who's the tops and who's the bottoms.
Yeah. I mean, once we get down like maybe one more person, we're really going to get like it's going to
be hard to chat.
It's going to be hard. It's going to be splitting hairs. Going to be splitting hairs. One thing I can appreciate with the Boulets is that unlike other judged competition drag shows, they're very real and raw with their opinion, and sometimes they don't agree, and it's like apparent, like it's not like Rue is the judge on RuPaul's Drag Race.
I like when they go back and forth and fight. It's so
and
funny.
The Boulets there's two of them, so like they're equals. So when they don't agree, it's like, ooh, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
And I find their critiques and their feedback very real, and 9.5 times out of 10, I agree with them always.
Yep.
And so I know they know what they're looking for, and it's very apparent. And so this has just been a very good season overall, in my opinion. So that we find out that the actual winner is Gray, and you know what is freaking shocking?
What?
This is Gray's first win of the season, and I cannot believe it.
You know, when they said that too, I was like, they don't have any more wins?
I know. I thought, like, it seems like
but these bitches are being shady. Like, they know that Gray is top.
Yes. I could have seen Gray win 2 more episodes already. Like, this could have easily have been Gray's 3rd win, and I would have not blinked an eye.
Yep.
How crazy.
But with the fact, because doesn't Gray win? Gray wins.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, Gray wins the episode. What's crazy though is they cursed them with the contacts and all, and they still couldn't keep a bitch down, honey.
Girl, they could not.
I was gagged. I was
that's
like,
a power bottom, bitch. They're gonna power through it, honey. You
yes.
them, you bust them in the kneecap with a bat, they're still gonna
You
get
beat
on
your
all
bottoms
fours.
up like that, bitch.
Only if they ask,
Oh my God.
consent is necessary.
Damn, bitch.
So the two up for extermination we find out are Jaharia and Aurora. We both got the right as well.
Yep.
And the extermination is they have to get in this thing where it sucks.
It's like a suction cup.
Yeah, it sucks all the air out. So not only are they being shocked, but they're
They
also
can't breathe.
being suffocated at the same time, which is terrifying.
I could not fucking do that, bitch.
Girl, that's terrifying. So we go into the cauldron, and Aurora and Jaharia are going at it.
Yes, like Jaharia is Aurora is calling Jaharia boring with her personality.
I was
gagged.
shocked. But this is when you know, like, somebody is really fighting for their life there. Like,
Yeah, because they were just trying to just pull, tug, scratch,
Yeah,
punch.
yeah.
Because a lot of it also came off almost like not valid.
Yeah.
And it also seemed a little acted because like the way that Aurora was saying things, it was almost like, this is my time. I know I'm about to go. So I'm just gonna really make it a moment.
And Aurora is too nice. Like, the thing is like, she's not any of these things. At least, I mean, I don't know her well. Maybe she is. Maybe she's a horrible cunt.
Well,
But
the funny thing though is that when she kept saying that stuff to Jaharia, Jahari was like, "Oh, really?" And then they'd come back and like check her, and every little thing that she would
let
try
me
to
tell
say,
you what. Jaharia won this battle, bitch.
they won.
She was so well spoken, and the comebacks that she would
Were
say to
factual,
Aurora,
actual.
she laid Aurora out so fiercely. Aurora had to
Aurora
come
was
in and
like,
be
"What
like,
do I
you know
do?"
what? You're right. I apologize, and you're none of those things.
Yeah.
That is
And it
how
was crazy
you
how
check a
fast
bitch.
they had turned and apologized
That's how
instead of
you
just
check a
letting it be.
bitch. Girl,
Mhm.
Jaharia is no one to be fucked with. Girl, I would never go against Jaharia
No,
in
because she
a
can get you
fucking fight,
you know?
bitch. She would. In fact, if I'm ever around her for a long period of time, me and her are gonna have to be best friends because I know that in a tough situation, she gonna read a bitch for
Yep.
me. Cause girl, she knows what's up. She was right, and it was quick too.
It was quick, and she came with facts, and it just was all
slayed her.
down.
Slayed her. Girl, that fish was dead and turned into sushi.
Yep.
Okay.
Filleted.
Filleted, full out. So they do the extermination, and like, I know we briefly just talked about that, but how do you think that you would do in this extermination if you were in that situation?
Well, I don't know because like if I had to stay in there, I can't hold my breath that long, bitch.
Yeah.
I can't. I would have died of suffocation.
And you're being shocked.
Yeah, and you're being shocked, and then like it's pulsating your body, and you have to like, I'm sure, breathe from that. Because you're like, you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. I would probably die.
Girl.
I would not be the final girl.
And what I'm interested in is like, how do they get away out of all of the things that they've done on this show? Fucking piercing people with like fucking baseball bats and throwing them to sharks and throwing them out of planes and making them eat brains. How do they get away with suffocation? That's what I don't get. Because like,
I don't get it.
You don't come back from that. We just talked about this on the other podcast that like, as a kid, we would do this thing where like your cousins you would hold your breath and cross your arms, and my cousins would push on my chest, and it would make me pass out. If you don't have oxygen, you die.
Yeah.
Literally extermination.
Bitch, I would have died.
More power. I mean, girl, kudos to them for getting through it. So we find out that Aurora gets the chop.
I think in one of these situations too, it's really just based on like your track record, because you're really not gonna die. You're not gonna say, I can't. I mean, I guess you could say I can't do this anymore, but I don't think either of them said I can't do this.
Yeah.
I think it was just, let's hold on for dear life and wait to see what happens.
Well, I think this is just like a Drag Race lip sync. I mean, like it's just a way for them to close out the episode. And with the right editing, they could really make whoever they want go home for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Aurora had already been in the bottom a couple of times. So it was her time.
Yeah. Like I said, track record.
Yeah, it was her time. But this was a good episode.
It's getting good.
It's getting good, sweetie. And you know what else is good? That merchandise. So,
yeah.
if you are listening and you got to this point, you better have liked and subscribed and left a comment because you will not win that merchandise without all three of those. And you better leave a comment and like each one of these episodes all the way through to the finale to win the exclusive Boulet Brothers Dragula merch package.
Or you will be executed.
Or you will be exterminated. Also, again, don't forget, serve vodka. Mixed berry vodka's my flavor. I taste really good. You should ask a couple of people. And I'm excited to see where this goes from here.
Absolutely. It's getting good.
It's going to be good. Well, until next time, thanks for tuning in. Follow Shontelle on all her social medias at Shontelle Sparkles, at her hair page at Glitterbomb Wigs, glitterbombwigs.com if you want to order a ready-made style or a shake and go that's exclusive. And I am Trinity the Tuck, Trinity the Talk on TikTok, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.